Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another tier list video. This time we are doing the 2024 AFL midfield groups, and we've got the tier list looking very nice and dandy right here. I actually haven't looked at this yet. We've got 9 midfielders per group, and it looks like it includes a ruckman as well. So a couple of things you take into account here, obviously individuals, how they perform as a team, the ruck as well. Do they have good balance, inside mids, outside mids, you know, your attacking, your defensive minded midfielders, the history as well, a whole bunch of things. I am recording this as of round 14 for those who are interested. This will probably release a lot later down the line. But as I clean my glasses because I can barely see who the fuck this is, we're gonna start with the Adelaide Football Club. Now, we've obviously got some categories: elite, very good, solid, average, not good, shocking, unwatchable. Didn't make those categories up, they've come preset like that. Let's start with the Adelaide Crows. Now, looks like here, sorry, we've got Rochelle, we've got Crouch, Berry, oh my god, my eyesight's so bad, Dawson, Rankin, Crouch, O'Brien, I forgot that guy's name, and he's Saligo, I believe. Now, this midfield's really good. I do think they have too many of the same types. Crouch and Laird are too similar, and then Rankin and Rochelle are too similar. You know, Crouch and Laird are just handballs, possession. Rankin and Rochelle are too attacking. Obviously, they're amazing midfielders, but they can't be in the same team. Berry, Saligo's had one good season. Riley O'Brien's just been dropped. It's a pretty shocking midfield. Match, you know, we'll go with not good. Look, there's some exciting talent there, but in terms of the AFL, it's not a good midfield, and I feel bad putting it in shocking. Now we're going to move on to the Brisbane Lions, who we've got McCluggage, Zach Bailey, Berry, Will Ashcroft, Lockie Neal, Josh Dunkley. I honestly cannot tell who that other guy is. Big O and Cam Rayner. I'm not sure where Jared Lyons is, but we'll move on from that. It's a really strong midfield. It's a solid midfield. I do think it's getting a little bit samey. I think the likes of McCluggage are super exciting. Will Ashcroft, we're not sure. You could almost put it as a very good, in fact, I'm going to put it as a very good midfield. I think the fact you've got 2-time Brownlow medalist Lockie Neal, Cam Rayner, Will Ashcroft, both really, well, not really young Cam Rayner, but still young, relatively speaking. Also, sorry for all the fucking ads that pop up on this fucking site. Let's put that in very good. Carlton now, we have got Adam Chera, Kennedy, Paddy Cripps, DeConing, Blake Acres, I think, Doherty, Walsh, Pitnet, I forgot your name. I know who you are though. Are they missing other? I feel like there's more midfielders there. Zach Williams could go in the midfield. Paddy Cripps, Sam Walsh should make this elite. Doherty's not really a midfielder. Pitnet's not the greatest ruck. I think it's a pretty solid midfield, but I think there are better midfields in the comp. Well, it's very good. Is it solid? We'll put it very good for now, actually, because it is pretty equatable to Brisbane. I think, oh, you know what? They've got DeConing, who's really young and exciting as well. We'll put it in very good. Is it better than Brisbane's? Well, this season it probably is, so we'll put it there. Collingwood's midfield: DeGoey, Tom Mitchell, Dacos. There's another Dacos. There's Chris, Pendles, Sidebottom, Cameron, Cox. There's more midfielders they're missing out. They're missing out on McRae. I can't wait till we get to Sydney's midfielders as well, because they have a lot. Collingwood, they can have quite a few midfielders right now. I think Brad Hill's even gone. Not Brad Hill, Ian Hill. Bobby Hill, sorry. It is just an elite midfield. I mean, the wingers, Sidebottom, Dacos. Pendles is the experience. DeGoey's explosive. Nick Dacos is the full package. And then you got Cameron and Cox, who would bring it down to very good, but Cameron is a good ruck. Cox offers something. And then the likes of Jack Crisp are just super reliable. It's an elite midfield, arguably the best in the comp, which is why they're the best in the comp. Essendon now. They've got Draper, Parrish, Merritt, Perkins, Goldstein, Jai Caldwell, yeah, Goldie, you've got Durham, you've got Bowen Arrow, and you've got Nick Martin. Zach Merritt is amazing. Parrish is pretty good. Nick Martin is arguably the best winger in the competition. I think Goldstein and Draper are decent rucks. I think what lets you down, Durham's been good as well, but Bowen Arrow, cool. I think it's a solid midfield. I think it's, oh wow, geez. This season they've been really good. I think when everyone's fit, it's just solid though. I know Nick Martin and Zach Merritt are amazing, but I don't know. I don't really know. I think they're just better midfielders. They're better midfielders. Even though Zach Merritt is arguably one of the best, but they don't seem to work that well in tandem either. Fremantle, you've got O'Meara, Sarong, Darcy, obviously Jackson, 2 very good rucks by the way. You've got Brayshaw, Fife, Jeremy Sharp, Young, and some other brother. It's a pretty solid midfield. Even though Fremantle suck, the midfield's not their problem. O'Meara's not great, but the likes of Sarong, Brayshaw, Fife when he's fit, Darcy and Jackson, I think, really bring that midfield up. And I think it's pretty solid. Geelong's now Tui, Brun, Parfitt, Blitzarves. We have got Duncan, Dangerfield, Blitzarves, Guthrie. Well, they don't seem to have Brian Myers or Holmes, Max Holmes, who are their best midfield So I'm going to include them as well. I think they've got a pretty average midfield. I think the defense and the forward line really helps them, to be honest. And that's why they're an average. Definitely not as good as the other 5. Gold Coast midfield, I already know where this is going to be. I think it's been very good. You've got, Tuke Miller, Anderson, Matt Rao, who are just amazing. Wits as well as the ruck. That's all you need. And the backups, you know, the likes of Swallows, some other brothers. Flanders as well has had a really good season. It's a very good midfield. There's no two ways about it. The only reason it's not elite is we haven't seen it on the big stage. We're not entirely sure if the backup midfielders aren't as good as Collingwood midfielders. And even though the likes of Tuke Miller, Anderson are amazing, they're not best player in the competition like Dacos. The Giants midfield, we've got Cornelio, we've got Ward, we've got Green, we have got some other brother, we've got Kelly, we've got Briggs, we've got, that's not Nick Haynes, is it? I sure hope not. Eyesight too bad. I ain't even gonna lie. But you've got players like Cornelio, you've got players like Callum Ward, Ryan Angewin's in there, Jacob Weir, however the fuck you say it, James Peatling, Harry Roston, Josh Kelly. I'm just looking on their website here. Oh yeah, Xavier O'Halloran, who had a really good game recently. It's a solid midfield. It's solid. Tom Green's amazing. Cornelio and Kelly are really good. Briggs is a great ruckman. The backups are okay. Ward's aging, and the young mids are doing all right. I think Solar's a pretty good. And then where's Lockie Whitfield? You know, wingers. I think that's a pretty solid midfield. Hawthorns, you've got Warple, you've got Morrison, you've got Newcomb, you've got Nash, you've got some others. I know Will Day will be in there. Meek will be in there. Look, let's be completely honest. D'Ambrosio as well, Dylan Moore. I'm putting this in pretty shocking. It's a shocking midfield. Might even be unwatchable. Dylan Moore's amazing. Newcomb's had a good season, but some of the names on that list, we'll put it in unwatchable. If there's a worse midfield, we'll put that in there. Melbourne's midfield is Petrarca, Viney, Oliver, Gawn, some others, Rivers, fucking drafty name. You as well, you're good. Billings, Langdon. Look, I'm forgetting my names, but it's a pretty elite midfield, isn't it? I mean, Gawn, the best ruck in the comp. Petrarca, Viney, Oliver's having an off season, but is he going to get back to it? Langdon, I think, is a super underrated player. Obviously, they lost Brayshaw, who adds that extra layer of depth. So I think, and this season, they've not been amazing. So I'm going to chuck them in very good. We'll change these midfields around the very good. There's too many in there right now. North Melbourne, we've got Sheasel, LDU, Simpkin, Jerry. You've got, I think it's like Darcy something. Obviously, Liam Shield. Some youngsters down the bottom. It's a pretty shocking midfield. No stars. Sheasel's a star, and I think LDU and Simpkin are great midfielders. Jerry's a good ruck, but the backup's not good. The stats aren't good, and they're a shocking midfield group. Unfortunately, Port Adelaide, Connor Rosie, Zach Butters, Jason Horn-Francis, Ollie Wines, William Drew, Boak, and then you've got Miles, something like that. Sweet. A midfield doesn't get much better than that. We're talking the best midfielders. Rosie, Butters, Jason Horn-Francis, the starting 3, amazing. The backups, Boak, Drew, Wines won a Brownlow a couple of years ago. That's an elite midfield. Yeah, it's just the forward line I think that needs to be better, and maybe a bit more expensive there. St Kilda, we have got Crouch, Steele, Clark. Obviously, you have got the likes of Windhager, Sinclair, Mason Wood, Jack Ross. I can't tell the brother in the middle is, and you've obviously got the ruck, Todd Marshall. Oh, geez, Todd Marshall's a great ruck. Steele and Sinclair are good midfielders. It's pretty shocking. I mean, some of the midfielders there are awful. Paddy Dow as well, that might be somewhere. He should be in that list. Yeah, it's just not good, I'm going to be honest. Is it as bad as Richmond's? Probably not. Richmond have got Prestia, Dusty, Taranto, Rav Smith, we've got Hopper, Nankervis, Bolton, McIntosh, and Jack Graham. Now, we do have a lot more midfielders who aren't there. The likes of Jack Ross can play in that midfield. We've seen Kane McCall play in that midfield. We've got loads more rucks as well. Samson Ryan, Sam Naismith's done his ACL, unfortunately. Even Mate Kalina. We do not have a good midfield group. Let's make one thing clear. Thompson Dow's also been playing good footy. I think he should be in that group. Presley's always injured. Dusty plays up mostly forward now. Taranto and Hopper have been injured all season. Nank's been amazing. Ralph Smith was in and out the team and doesn't influence a lot. McIntosh has been pretty good as of recent. Bolton's been amazing, but mostly playing forward because we have no forwards. And Jack Graham's been injured as well. We're going to go with a shocking midfield as well. We'll disperse these out and choose whoever the best one is to go and not good with Adelaide, but 2 of those players are midfielders. The rest are always injured. The only reason it's not unwatchable is because I have that bias, probably being a Richmond fan. This is the one we're all looking forward to. Straight to elite. We've got Chad Warner, Taylor Adams, Brodie Grundy, Isaac Heaney, Rowbottom. You've got Mills, you've got Parker, Goulden, and is that McInerney or Wicks. I think that's McInerney, just McInerney. Elite. In fact, it's the best midfield in the comp. Some of those plays are ridiculously good. Brownlow contention, Brownlow contention, Brownlow contention. Goulden, Warner, and Heaney. And then Mills and Parker on top of that. Not to mention Brodie Grundy's having a good season. Not to mention who they picked up from Melbourne, the young player. Fucking forgot his name. It's a great midfield. We're going to move on to the Eagles here. We have got Gaff, Harley Reid, Elliot Yeo, Tim Kelly. Forgot your name. Headband Boy from Melbourne. Ruben. Ginby or whatever his name is. Dom Sheed and somebody else. Elliot Yeo's had a great season. Harley Reid's amazing. Tim Kelly's really good. That midfield is good. Also, the ruckman's in the middle. I genuinely forgot his name. But like some of the other players, Gaff's not good. Speedster from Melbourne, whose name's evading me as well, is not good. I'm going to put in Shocking as well, but we'll change this around. I pinky promise. And lastly, the Dogs. You've got Treloar, Bontempelli, Bailey Smith, Riley Sanders, Jack McRae, Ed Richards, Jesus Christ, Tom Liberatore, Tim English, Bailey Williams as well. Now, before they got rid of Dunkley, this was a crazy midfield. They've obviously got James Harms as well, who they haven't listed here. This is also a very good midfield. I mean, Treloar, Bontempelli, Smith and Sanders are young, but Smith's looking to leave. McRae's had experience, and it keeps going. Libba, I think that's fair. So this is like a very loose example of the list. We're gonna now just change this around. Let's get one down into average and one down to solid. I think Fremantle, oh geez, the thing that keeps Fremantle in this category is the rucks, Darcy and Jackson. Apart from that, they probably should go in average. Who's better out of GWS and Essendon? I think Essendon probably just slightly have a, you know what, I'm gonna put them down to average Fremantle because rucks aren't as important as the midfielders themselves. So they go down into average. Let's bring one of these down as well. Who comes down? Well, you know, you've got some amazing names here. It's a hard one. It's a really, really hard one because, I don't know who to go for. I mean, I'm almost tempted to put, no, but Carlton have Walsh and Cripps. The lines are well balanced. I think Gold Coast are finding their feet. Melbourne obviously have one and some amazing midfielders there, and the Dogs do too. Let's look at the numbers really quick. All right, I've looked at the stats, and Melbourne have to come down. They absolutely have to come down. They've been awfully statistically awful, sorry, with the stats. And I'm going to bring my team into unwatchable as well. And I want to move one of these teams up from shocking into not good. Who's a... Jeez, it's hard. I think St Kilda have got to stay. One of these two teams had to go into not good. And out of those, we'll put North Melbourne into not good. And I think this is pretty fair. I think this is a decent midfield list. Now, generally speaking, whoever's in the top is in the top 8. You know, Sydney, Port, Collingwood, Carlton, Brisbane, blah, 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 blah. But you got some players down low who aren't doing super well. Geelong, I don't think have the greatest midfield, but they're in the top 4 currently speaking, or at least top 5. The likes of Essendon aren't as good as what they think. You know, and if you look at the statistics, sorry, really quick, I'm just going to pop them up here. Total clearances. Brisbane actually had the most, and Fremantle, Carlton, the Dogs. You look at things like contested possession, Carlton had the most, GWS, Geelong, Collingwood. You know, obviously, Richmond, North, West Coast, Freo at the bottom. Richmond, Hawthorn, St Kilda. So Richmond are pretty awful midfield. Possessions as well, Dogs. I mean, uncontested is pretty pointless. So it really depends what you want to look at. But this is my final list. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video.